There's a specific group of teenagers I want to target in this video, and that is the privileged. Who are the privileged? If you grew up and you didn't need a job to survive, if your parents provided you with everything, and you had some sort of access to the internet, you were privileged. Personally, I had all three of those things, so who better to talk about this subject than me? I'm going to show you guys how to go from living a privileged life to living a life that you own and you are proud of. If you had the privilege to grow up with an amazing childhood, chances are you are not physically tough. You quit easily. Why? Because everything in life was handed to you. When you finally get into the real world, you're going to expect for everything to get handed to you. But that's not how life works. When you don't get the things that you want handed to you and you don't have the mental toughness to keep persevering when you fail, you're going to be unhappy. You might get depression and eventually kill yourself, which is why you have to master mental toughness. Like I said earlier, if you grew up with an amazing childhood, you had zero problems, then you have to push yourself physically. Pick up a sport, pick up a hobby, and try to become the best at it. Push yourself harder than you could have ever dreamed of, because shit, you might have not got beat as a child, but you will beat yourself up when you try to become the best at whatever sport you try to play. Keep pushing yourself hard, and eventually you'll start to realize that you have a connection with your brain that you can master. If you grab a handful of 10 of the most successful people you can think of, chances are a majority of them would have had rough childhoods. You know, maybe those people saw domestic abuse as a kid and that strengthened their mind, it strengthened their mental toughness to be able that, shit, this world's actually a lot harder than it seems. Push yourself, become mentally and physically stronger at the same time, and in doing so, you'll be able to own your own life and become proud of some of your accomplishments. Another step you can take coming from being privileged is to just be grateful for what you have. Picture this scenario. You're a teenager in high school, and you know some other teenagers, whether it be on the internet or you know them personally, that are super, super rich. You know, say you're middle class and you admire everything that that person has. You may be jealous of that person's new car, new watch, new business, new whatever is going on in their life. But the truth is, you don't know the full story. The only person in life whose story that you know 100% fully is your own. So when you're ungrateful for the things you have and you start to get jealous for the things that other people have, when you don't even know the full story behind how or why they have those things, you're going to hate yourself. Now, what you could do is you can look at the things they have and use it as motivation, use it as inspiration, and try to get those things too, but you're privileged, you're lazy, you have no mental toughness. You might get a job to try to get towards there, but look, you'll quit in a week. Now look, I know all of you guys aren't like that, but I do know a handful of people who are privileged as hell, and they don't even need to work a job to get by. If you start to be grateful for the things that you love and the things you've been given in your life, then you'll start to be more proud of it, and you might actually love living. Now the final thing you need to do in order to love your own life, in order to be happy, in order to be proud to wake up every single day, is you have to cut funding from your parents. I'm still working towards it every single day. I'm eventually going to get there, but it can be really hard if you grew up having everything handed to you. You know, our parents don't do this intentionally. They just do it because they love us, and they do it because maybe their childhood wasn't as great. But in that, they don't realize that they're creating a huge fucking weakness. Teenagers, we're becoming entitled by receiving a lot of the money. And I mean, it's different for everyone in their situations, but like I know a kid who doesn't want to become entitled, so he doesn't ask his parents for Christmas gifts. I also know some other kids that chose to save up to buy their own car when their parents offered to buy them a car. And the next thing that I'm probably going to do is start to pay for my own groceries because it's fucking expensive. You know, when I become 18, when I'm older, like I'm going to have to start paying for it anyway. You can't rely on your parents your whole life. You'll become mentally weak and feel entitled. Work for your own stuff and you'll be just a lot happier. Some of the most unhappy, depressed people I know are the ones that have graduated college and are still living with their parents and still accepting money from them. They've been fucking force-fed money from their parents their whole life that they don't know what it feels like to be independent. Newsflash, independence directly leads to fucking happiness. Start taking control of the good and bad things in your life. That's what being independent means. Challenge yourself physically, be grateful for the things you have, and slowly start cutting funding from your parents. And my privileged friends, you will live a happier life. Now look, I just want to end the video by saying I know everyone's life is different. I know everyone has their own circumstances and situations. But if you don't take control of your life and start being held accountable for the things that you do, whether it be mistakes or accomplishments, you're going to be unhappy. And that's the last thing I want. Down below, subscribe button. Please go ahead and click it. To the left of me, I have some of my older videos. Go ahead and check them out. But anyway, my name's Austyn. I hope you guys have an amazing day. You're privileged. If you got to the end, later.